Hey guys, Teresa here. Welcome back to my channel, Lost My Thread. Today I'm going to be catching you up with everything I sewed in the month of October. I've been having a pretty productive sewing time recently, largely in part because of my wrist. So anyone who isn't aware, I've got an ulnar nerve tension in my wrist, which is giving me a lot of hand pain and wrist pain and very much limiting what I can do, even to the point where like propping a book open and reading is uncomfortable. So in general, I'm off sick from work, I'm at home, but there's not a lot that I can actually do. And I'm very happy that sewing is actually okay. Sewing's not painful, as long as I avoid hand sewing and definitely no to knitting at the moment. But it's just basically giving me more time, and so I've been spending a fair bit of my time sewing. I have a fair amount to show you that I did just in October. I'm going to start with what I'm wearing now. This is the top version of the new Cashmerette Grafton pattern. I say new, it came out, I don't know, probably in October, but it is a pattern for mix and match of all kinds of knit things. So you can make tops, you can make skirts, you can make dresses, very similar to the Upton pattern, if you guys know about that one, is a woven pattern from Cashmerette. I'm generally a big Cashmerette fan. When I saw it, I was super excited. I feel like I have to say, like, full disclosure, I was actually given this pattern for free, but I didn't realize it. So you might remember, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I was a Cashmerette Club collaborator until probably about halfway through this year. And as a result of that, they were emailing people when this new pattern was coming out. They were doing their own collaboration with my body model, where you can make like a custom croquis to fit your exact proportions, and so you can kind of play dress up on a line drawing of yourself that's fairly accurate. And they had asked me as a past collaborator, was I interested in getting a like tokens or gift voucher to get a free My Body Model croquis, and then I can play dress up with the new Grafton pattern that was going to be coming out. So this is before the pattern came out. I didn't really read that clearly what the email was as far as like what the pattern was going to be. But they said they'd give me the pattern for free and the vouchers for the My Body Model, and I felt like, well, I could have a little play, why not? This was before I hurt my wrist, so like drawing seemed absolutely fine. I was like, yeah, I'll have a go, and I'll draw some little pretend outfits. That seemed like a fun idea. And so I got sent all of that. I got sent the free pattern, and then I feel like probably half a week later, the Grafton pattern came out, and I saw it on Instagram first. And when I saw it on Instagram, I was like, whoa, this pattern looks amazing. I love the mix and match options. I love all the neckline options. This just seems super cool. This seems like a pattern I absolutely need to have. Went to their website, was literally about to add it to my basket, and I realized this might be the thing they sent me for free. So I had to go back into my emails and saw that, yes, actually I've been sent this pattern. So amazing for me, I didn't have to pay for it, but genuinely guys, I would have. So just to say, like, this is a pattern that I 100% wanted to get. And I made up two versions straight away. I've made another one since, and I have many plans for more Graftons coming up. So of the versions of the Grafton, the one that I wanted to make first was the fitted top. So you can make fitted or relaxed fit tops. And I liked the idea of kind of having like the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes, but that fits me better. So I've made the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes, but I've done a full bust adjustment, and it's pretty good, but it's not perfect. And so I thought, ooh, well, like a really nice fitted top would be really nice. And to make some with longer sleeves so that I can have them more in the autumn and winter. And so the first thing I planned was a turtleneck, and I will show you that one first. So I think this is probably the first one that I made. I have made a turtleneck hack of the Concord tee by Cashmerette. I'll get to that in a minute. But this, I feel like it's a looser turtleneck. I really like it. I feel like the shape of it, this is it's like a binding essentially. So it goes on the inside and gets stitched in place. I really do love generally the fit and the shape of this one. It is so comfortable. This fabric is a rib knit fabric, cotton rib knit that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. I saw it on a YouTube video that Harriet had made for them, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get this fabric in my life. It has really wonderful stretch and recovery, and it is so nice and soft. It is warm, it is snuggly. It is basically everything I want from a turtleneck. I recently went back to Sew Me Sunshine seeing if I could get this in other colors, and they only had it in a white still, and I was like, yes, I could dye it, but I don't want to give myself more work. I'm gonna wait until maybe it comes back in other colors, but I really do love how this one turned out. I had some questions about the size with this one. So like I said, I've made the Concord tee by Cashmerette multiple times before. It's probably my most made pattern. But I will say that when I first made it, it was a little bit narrow in the shoulder, so I had to bring the shoulder out. And every so often, some of the versions, depending on the fabric and the stretch of it, they're just a little tight in the high bust area. So I re-measured myself recently, and my high bust is 34.5 centimeters. It used to be 34.5 inches. My gosh, that would be wild. No, 34.5 inches. It used to be 34 inches. My full bust is still 38 inches. My waist is 32 and my hips are still 42. I'll put it down in the description if you guys are curious, just to compare to understand with sizing. But basically my high bust area was putting me between two sizes for Cashmerette, either the 8 or the 10. And then depending on that, I would have either a fuller or a smaller bust option. Now, when you use their calculator, they have a calculator on their website where you put in your body size, but also what bra size you wear. It tells me to make the 8EF cup, which is what I had done previously for the bust, grading out at the waist and the hip. But because it was a little bit small on the Concord, and I felt like, well, this is supposed to be really fitted, I don't want to go too far, so let me just go ahead and go with the 10 CD cup, grading out at the hip to the 12. So that was what I ended up doing, and I kind of feel like I should have gone with the AEF cup. I will do. I'm really curious to see how it fits compared to my Concord tee if I make it in the same size, because this one essentially, it's very close to the fit of the Concord tee as far as I'm concerned. So a lot of people were asking me, how do these two patterns compare, just for like the basic t-shirt. Obviously this has way more options than the Concord tee, and I think I probably will make a video about that at some point. Let me know if you guys are interested. I know quite a few people mentioned on Instagram that they were interested. I can't say really based on what I've currently got, because I've got a larger top of the Grafton than the versions I've made of the Concord. So at some point I will cut out the exact same size and the exact same fabric and compare the two. I can actually look at the pattern pieces as well and compare them, just to give you an idea of what those differences are. But as it stands, though this one probably could be a little bit tighter just to have that full, like the Agnes tee version that I was looking for, I do really like it, honestly. And it's got a really great fit generally down the sleeve. Like I said, I really love that turtleneck on there. And the other version I cut out at the exact same time is this top. So this is the same top, but with the scoop neck. And I went for an elbow length sleeve only because that was fabric restrictions. So I got this as a remnant from Sew Me Sunshine. This is a fabric I have had my eye on for just, I don't know, over a year. It's a linen blend, so it's a linen cotton jersey. I believe it is. I'll put it up on the screen if I've got it wrong, but definitely linen is an element of it. And it has a really beautiful print on it. I really love the colors. This blue is just, such a good blue. And these orange flowers are such a great contrast. There was another version of this with a slightly different colorway. I think the orange was the base. I was really debating between them all, honestly, but this is what was in the remnant bin, so I decided I'm just gonna go for it and see what this is like, because I've been curious to know why you would add linen to a jersey and what that might do for it. Now, in all honesty, now that I've got it and I've made it up, I can't particularly tell you what the linen adds, apart from it's generally less smooth. It's not quite as soft to the skin as a normal cotton jersey would be. But I don't know, it's probably not all linen blend jerseys. That's just the one that I've got. But looking at it otherwise, I can't tell there's linen in it. So I don't know if it's meant to do something more than that. So if you guys know, if you've made linen jersey blends or if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. But what I will say is, yes, it's not completely smooth and soft as a cotton jersey, but when it's on me, it's not uncomfortable by any means. It's super comfortable to wear. And definitely I am so into this print. I feel like it worked out really well with this top, with this neckline, with the sleeve. In general, really do love my Graftons, and like I said, I have many plans for more because I really do love it. The next one to show you guys is this jacket. So this is actually a bit of a Franken pattern. It's a mashup of two patterns. The body of it is the Murcot Puffer Vest, which is from the Cashmerette Club. I've made that vest before and love that vest. And these sleeves come from the Kimball Bomber Jacket, which is also a Cashmerette Club pattern. So the patterns I did get for free. So previously, like I mentioned, I was a Cashmerette Club collaborator. So I got a subscription to their, it's like the subscription service essentially. You get a pattern a month, and I was getting it free every month for a year. Since then, I will say I've actually signed up for it myself, so I am paying my own money to carry on that subscription service because I really do love it. But at the time, I got it for free. If you sign up for their VIP access, you get access to all the previous patterns, including these. But as I said, the Murcot Puffer Vest I've made, and I really like that pattern. I really have been wearing that vest a lot in this time of year, in the autumn time. It's a really great layering piece. And they have a hack on their website about how you can mash it up with a Kimball Bomber Jacket to give it sleeves. What I really like about this is when you go through the blog post and read through, it's essentially teaching you about pattern drafting. So I feel like when I was going through and doing this on my pattern, I was actually really learning a lot, which was really cool. So I really appreciate when pattern companies do that. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to do a mashup basically because I really love the fit of the vest and I know that it works really well for me and it's a good layer, so it's not too fitted, that it's able to go over things in the colder days. And I thought, well, if I could make a jacket out of that, it'd be pretty cool. And the thing that actually inspired me to do this, honestly, was the fabric. So this fabric I got from Sew Me Sunshine on my recent trip, same time I got this. I really do love this fabric. It's really unusual. So it's a double gauze fabric. I believe it's Atelier Brunette. I will put up on the screen if I'm wrong there, but it's an embroidered double gauze fabric. So it's got this stitch line going through it that almost gives it a quilted look, though it isn't quilted, it's just double gauze. And they also had it in this green color. So I really loved both colors, the pink and the green. And I could not decide which color to get. I saw it actually when they had an open day quite a few months ago, didn't get it, went back in, saw that it was there and was like, I still really, really want it. And I still couldn't decide which color to get. And I thought, well, I guess I just need to get both. And I need to get enough to make something reversible. So I had the general idea, and then this seemed like a really good choice to make a reversible jacket. Because it's double gauze, cotton double gauze fabric, has a little bit of warmth to it because it's got the two layers of fabric together. But because I've got it sort of, essentially it's a double layer of those. So I've got one side is the green and one side is the pink. I've got 4 layers of the cotton fabric, but also because it's cotton, double gauze, it's really breathable. I feel like it's just a really nice option to have to throw on when you just want a little bit more. And I also just really love both of these colors. And I felt like having the reversible option would make it just that little bit more versatile in my wardrobe. I did change the pattern a little bit in addition to adding the sleeves. I took away, there's like a collar section that I think looks nice on the vest, but I felt like it would be a little bit cleaner on the jacket to leave that off. That was an easy alteration to make, but on the whole, I followed their blog and I think it turned out really well. I will say, oh, the other option or the other thing I did extra that wasn't on there is I changed the welt pocket to patch pockets. So the reason I did that is I wanted to have pockets either way I'm wearing it. And I didn't want to have 2 welt pockets or have 2 pocket bags on the inside. I felt like that would be quite bulky. But I thought if I do patch pockets, A, that's just a cute option. I feel like it looks more like a quilted jacket kind of a vibe. But B, that means that I then have pockets whether I'm wearing it outside or inside, and I feel like it looks cute, it feels comfortable. I self-drafted this pocket just based on the size of my phone because that's the bulkiest thing that I'm likely to want to throw into my pocket. So I made sure that the width of it at the bottom was going to hold my phone, but then also the height of where that pocket ends was my phone wasn't going to fall out. But I also wanted to make it tall enough that I could put my phone in vertically if I wanted to, just for extra security, feel like it's kind of tucked away. And because I have the pocket on both sides, I then also have an inside pocket, whichever way I'm wearing it, which is a nice bonus. So, you know, when you're going around in town in London or wherever you live and you don't want anyone to have easy access to your pockets, an inside pocket is very nice and neat and tucked away. I don't think you can see the bulk on there because the pocket itself is fairly bulky and they're right on top of each other. I don't think it looks like I've got an inside pocket, but it is definitely a really nice feature. As far as the closures on this one, it does suggest using buttons, but I use snaps on my vest. I decided snaps was going to work better for me. What I like about snaps is whether you're looking at them from the right side or the wrong side, particularly the plasticky ones that I chose to use, they look the same, so you're not going to know if it's like inside out basically. So for a reversible thing, it's quite handy to have a similar look. And then that also means that they're easy to take on and off. The snaps themselves, I did also choose to make them match the color that they're going on. So it does mean that the inside of the snap is visible, you can see that through, but I still think that that just really ties it together really well. I think it looks neat, and it's just nice to have that consistency whichever way I'm wearing it. I am really happy with the overall shape and the fit of this one. It is exactly what I wanted it to be. So I can throw it over like a short sleeve, but also long sleeve, even jumpers it would fit over, sweaters I can fit it over. It's just a really nice extra layer to have. I feel like it ended up looking a little bit more smart or dressy than I was necessarily aiming for, but I feel like that gives it a really good versatility. I feel like sometimes when I'm going out or I've got like a work meeting or something and I throw my Kelly anorak over it, it just looks a little bit more casual. And I feel like this layer is definitely not that casual. Certainly can be casual, but being cotton double gauze, it's going to be really soft and really comfortable to wear. I like it snapped up, but I also like it opened a bit or completely open. I feel like it looks nice when that internal fabric can peek through. Obviously, that is going to affect somewhat what I can wear it with. So the idea of the reversible was that I can wear it even with greens, even with pinks, and I'd probably be less inclined to do that if it was just one of those solid colors. But I feel like having a little bit peeking through, I feel like absolutely still works. I've been surprised with how much I've been wearing this one, and it's definitely a really good, just basic thing to have in my wardrobe. And I think this will be something that I will wear generally for years to come, both in the autumn, but also in the spring. Even on cold summer evenings, I feel like it would be a really nice one to throw on. On the subject of the Cashmerette Club, I also want to mention that they are having a Black Friday discount at the moment. Starting today, going until the 27th of November, you have 1 full week to sign up if you're interested in getting the Cashmerette Club All Access. You can get 25% off. So if you go to their website, you can just sign up and get that discount. But if you want to get a little bit something extra, you can use my affiliate link. So if you go to cashmerette.com/lostmythread, you will have an option to add to basket your extra gift, basically. So if you then, after that, go to cashmerette.com/club and sign up for your all access membership, once you've paid, you get emailed access for a free download of any of their PDF patterns. So you can get any Cashmerette pattern, not the club, because you'll get those anyway, but just the general Cashmerette patterns if you're interested. And I get a little bit something extra if you use my link as well. I know that there were people who signed up when I had a similar offer previously, and in general, they were really happy with the club and also happy to get the bonus pattern. As I said, I used to be a Cashmerette Club collaborator and I was getting free all access to their Cashmerette Club. But when that ended, I decided that I liked it so much that I wanted to actually sign up. So I am a paid Cashmerette Club member, and I really do love what you get. You get free patterns every month. You get online tutorials like fitting videos from Jenny from Cashmerette every month. You get access to online like meetup sessions, discount codes for their patterns for fabric shops. Genuinely a big fan of the club, which is why I'm happy to promote it, guys. So if you're interested, get in there, use my link, and get a bonus pattern. I have 3 wrap dresses that I want to talk to you guys about, but this is going to be super brief because I actually have made really detailed videos talking about all 3 of these dresses. So I recently finished my latest Clash of the Pattern series, the Epic Wrap Dress Battle, where I went into so much detail about these 3. I will put a link up here and down in the description box to the first video of that series if you want to follow along. But in brief, I will tell you, this one first is the Westcliff Dress by Friday Pattern Company. This is in a really wonderful, it's a African print Lycra spandex fabric that I got from Diligent Hands Fabrics. This fabric is definitely really nice and drapey, has really great movement. The colors are so bold. The print is absolutely gorgeous. I will say this pattern, it's not 100% perfect for my shape. I did have issues where the neckband was very tight, and as a result, it either sort of really pulls it down or wants to ping up very high when I'm wearing it. It's also not a proper wrap dress. It's a faux wrap top with just a skirt put onto it, so with side seams on the skirt. I will say there's also a little bit of just bunching underneath the bust area, which I feel like apparently a lot of people have had. It's not just me. I feel like there's just some funny things going on with the drafting. Don't know whether it's to do with my body shape or the fabric that I chose, but like I said, other people have had this issue as well, so not entirely sure what goes on there. But I will say, I really do like wearing this dress. It's really beautiful. I think the fabric is definitely doing a lot of the talking. I feel great when I'm wearing it. It's probably not one I'm going to be reaching for all the time because the Lycra spandex is a little bit clingy. I definitely have to wear a slip for the skirt portion of this when I'm wearing it, or it just really creates a lot of static with my tights. But in general, like I said, I feel great in it, and it is one that I will be wearing definitely quite a lot for work. And then this one is the Olivia Wrap Dress by Named Clothing, made in a tencel modal jersey that I got from Guthrie and Ghani. I really love this color. It's really juicy and punchy. I think it was called Clementine. This one also has some really marvelous drape to it, really great movement. This one I will say was probably my least favorite in the end of the 3 wrap dresses that I made, and a lot of it just comes down to the fit and the shape for me. The bodice was definitely a little bit bigger than the other patterns. It goes over my shoulders. It just feels a bit oversized in general. So I could have sized down. I went with my body measurements, even considering I was going with my high bust measurement because this is a B sewing cup size, and still it's a bit baggy for me. So I do intend to add a snap at some point when I can hand sew. So that's just a watch this space thing. But the other thing I will say is just the shape of the skirt really isn't doing a whole lot for my figure. This is a fairly figure hugging, clingy kind of fabric. So I will say that I think that is a factor, but I think more importantly, this one has side seam pockets. They're not anchored side seam pockets as well. So they just kind of move around and they flop around. And I definitely think they're adding a lot of bulk to the hip. But this one also has pleats at the front under the waist, which I think is adding more bulk to the front of my tummy. So all in all, I feel like it's not a great shape for me. It's not doing a whole lot for my figure. I am actually going to end up removing these pockets and just stitching the side of the skirt closed, which I think will help a little bit, though it is a shame because I like a pocket, but it needs to at least be anchored if it's going to be for a jersey. It needs to go up to the waistband. This was definitely the most complicated construction of the 3 wrap dresses, and I feel like probably a little bit overcomplicated. It is really pretty, and it is, I think, more elevated and elegant than the other 2 wrap dresses, and I do think I'll wear it for work once I get that snap in. I don't think it's anything too much to worry about as far as the shape not being the most flattering, but it's just less likely to be the one that I'm going to be reaching for again and again. And finally, this one is the Wanda Wrap Dress by Wardrobe by Me. This fabric came from a destash from So Do It Emma. It's a cotton jersey fabric with a really beautiful print on it. This one isn't quite as drapey and floppy, but I would say it is more than some cotton jerseys are. It definitely has a bit of movement to it. This one, spoiler guys, if you haven't watched the Clash of the Patterns video, skip ahead. I'll have chapters, but this was the winner of my Clash of the Patterns, definitely my favorite. I feel like this one, the shape is just really nice. I would size up a bit on the bodice. So again, I ended up going with what fit my high bust for this one because that's what they recommended from the pattern. I think they were thinking that there'd be enough stretch, but even the shoulders are a little bit too far in. So I feel like it would have been better just one size up. But other than that, I mean, that's not enough to put me off by any means. It is a super comfortable one to wear. This is a wrap at the bodice only. The skirt is a 6 gourd skirt that then get all stitched together and then attached. This one I think is definitely the most flattering shape, the most comfortable, the most fun to wear. Having the fullness of that skirt is really nice. The fabric and the print I think are definitely really nice as well. In general, this was a top pattern for me, and I will absolutely be making more Wanda Wrap dresses. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Wanda Wrap dresses in the future. And the last one to tell you about is probably not something that's going to be useful for very many people, but it's really useful and really valuable to me. And that is sitting behind me here. So I've got this wrist brace on at the moment, which I'm wearing most of the time. This is just neoprene. It's just comfortable, gives a little bit of pressure and support. So that's been really important for me for my recovery journey. But I also have a splint that I'm wearing. So this has like a straight metal bar in there. And inside of it is generally, I will say, a bit scratchy. Not the most comfortable fabric to have against you. Sometimes some of this Velcro is going to be against your hand as well, depending on how tight you have it. And this I'm wearing to sleep, but I'm also wearing it if I have pain. So it just gives me a little bit more support in the wrist. And when I had that given to me from my physiotherapist, physical therapist, she gave me this, which is tube grip. It's like a little tube of stretchy fabric basically. And she said that I can wear this underneath that just to stop it from scratching my skin. And she just cut a little thumb hole there for me so that I could put my thumb through. But as you can see, because of the Velcro sticking to this, it has gotten very tatty very quickly. I was given a few of these, but honestly, they've all gotten pretty tatty. And I'm trying to be careful with not wearing it when I'm cooking or eating or anything, but still, it just gets worn out just with going on and off, or the Velcro going on and off over it. So I decided what I probably needed to do was just to make something for myself. So I decided to make some fingerless gloves. I followed a tutorial from Joanna's Feeling Crafty, which I've had pinned to my to-do like sewing list since she put that video out. It was, I think, at the beginning of the year. And the idea is I wanted to just make some really cozy fingerless gloves to wear, but I realized that actually this is exactly what I need. And it doesn't need to be cozy, it doesn't need to be warm. I just need it to be practical to fit under my wrist splint that I'm wearing. So I ended up making this, which is a viscose jersey fabric one that I made. So I decided to make a pair because I felt like if I'm making one, I might as well make two, because I could in theory just wear them as like a little fingerless glove just because they're kind of cute anyway. And I did measure, or I tried to measure how big I wanted the thumb hole to be, how far I wanted it to go down to make sure that it was definitely going to cover where my splint goes over the top of it. But I feel like this one actually, it was more of a prototype, let's just say. So I feel like the thumb hole could be a little bit looser. I would prefer a little bit more space at the thumb hole. And when I was putting it on the bottom of this, it kind of it only just fit, but I had to pull it down every time I was putting it on. It was definitely a little bit more awkward and could have done with being longer. It's definitely really nice and soft fabric. It's a fabric scrap as well, so I made all these from fabric scraps, which is always a win. But I will say, being the viscose fabric, it's a little bit slippy. That is the nature of it. And so when I would be wearing my splint over this, it would sometimes shift around on my hand and it just wasn't that comfortable. So I decided for my second version, I needed to, well, one, make the thumb hole bigger, two, make them a little bit longer here, but three, use a fabric with just a bit more structure. So I decided when I was making my next version to actually go ahead and use some, oops, my phone just fell, some fun contrasting fabric. So this is version number 2. The outside is this pink ribbing that I got. Again, it's a remnant. So this was from a sweatshirt that I made. And the inside is this gray. This is just a cotton jersey fabric. And this, I will say, it is very much fitting the bill. It is longer. I mean, I kind of went a little further than I had to because that's what we do when we're trying to find just the right spot. It is longer than it needs to be, but there is no issue. It definitely will fit my splint, no problems. The thumb hole as well is probably a little longer than it needs to be, but again, I'm not arguing. It works for the purpose. I did like the idea of making this reversible, which you can do if you slip stitch the inside closed with a hand stitch, but can't hand stitch, guys. So I had to just close it together with a zigzag on the sewing machine, which is totally fine. And I don't feel it when I'm wearing it, but it just means that I wouldn't want to wear this reversible. I wouldn't wear it on the reverse because it's just not as neat of a finish. But like I said, I made two because why was I going to make just one when I could have a matching set and potentially wear these at another time? But the main thing for me is that I have something that is comfortable, that's a little bit more easy to wear, that I can throw in the wash, that's not going to just shred to pieces. But also there is something just really extra nice and special when you make something for yourself when you really need it. So I've had things before that I've made for myself when I was going to be, ill, or if I was having, medical issues. Anyone else who's done that, I know you guys can relate. There's something just really lovely and special about kind of giving yourself a hug and giving yourself something really loving and nurturing, that when you're feeling a bit off and you're not feeling great, and I'm having pain, I'm having to put that splint on, I'm getting to put something on that I made myself, and it just feels nice. It feels like I'm caring for myself, which is always really lovely. It really was a fantastic tutorial that Joanna did. Like I said, I'll put links to it down below, and I'll put a link up here if you guys want to check it out and make some of your own fingerless gloves. But the main thing I will say is that they're just going to be a cozy item to wear. I needed them for a specific purpose, but if you use something a little bit more warm and snuggly, they would just be a really nice layer to have and still be able to keep your hands and your fingers free. So certainly a bit of variety this last October. I did also work on some muslins for my Anna dress, for the wedding dress refashion that I'm doing, but I also shared those in a video. I'll put a link to that if you guys haven't seen that as well, and put a link down below. But in general, I'm happy with the makes that I've had, and I'm excited to share with you guys what I've made in November once this month finishes. I hope you enjoyed hearing what I got up to with my sewing. I would love to hear what you guys got up to sewing the last month, or probably even 2. I'm so late with this video. Please do give me a like if you enjoyed my video. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you don't want to miss upcoming videos, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!